Hi everyone, welcome to What's on Tap from my dining room. This is the new normal. I think that's the way things are going to be for a while. I'm noticing all the shows on television, a lot of the talk shows are going this route. There's nothing else that one can do at this point. That being said, I'm certainly thrilled to welcome first of all, a good personal friend, a close personal friend for many, many years, and a person that has really made his mark now in the beverage industry. I always thought it was going to be beer, but it's taken a different stance for this fella. This is Guy Zompa. Hi, Guy.
How you doing, Gary? Good to see you, bud.
Yeah, Little Water Distillery in Atlantic City. You guys are what, about 3 years old now?
We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary during the shutdown. So
Yes, I know you wanted to, there was a lot of plans set for that.
yeah, we had a big event and it ended up being just me and my partner, Mark.
All right. Well, when things get back to a degree of normalcy, maybe something good can happen then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think us and the rest of the country will probably have a big party.
I think it's going to be a tremendous party. It'll be curious to see how this country does in fact reopen, whether it's in drips and drabs or all at once. I don't think anyone can even answer that at this point.
No, we're just all guessing.
I want to ask you a quick question before we get into this. You
Yeah,
obviously are a teacher. You and I work together. You were in the room right above me. I could knock on the ceiling and say hi to you if I wanted to, but
absolutely.
Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania just announced the closure of Pennsylvania schools for the rest of the school year.
I
And
saw
of
that.
course, you're not a prognosticator, but what do you think is going to happen in Jersey?
I'd say in the next week they'll probably make that call. I know that we're usually right around when Pennsylvania does something. It seems like we're like 2 or 3 days right behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably by the middle of April, they'll make the call to close for the rest of the year. It
What
just
have
makes
you
sense at
had
this
to
point.
do? Have you had to put things online, prepare packets as a teacher?
Well, it's funny. I went to my principal probably around Valentine's Day, way before any of this happened, because my mother's an urgent care nurse, and she was kind of like giving us a little bit of a heads up to start ordering masks and things like that. She's not really a person to panic. So she said, this is coming. It's going to be real. So I went to my principal and I said, I can teach 100% from home for the rest of the year, like tomorrow, if you want me to. Like, I'm ready. Like, all my lessons are online. I use everything Google Classroom based. So it really was no hiccup in my room at all. In my classes, I should say. I teach business. It's like intro to entrepreneurship, which is, all Google Classroom and
Sure.
web-based assignments. So it's been actually, it hasn't been much different for me.
You were probably better prepared than, I don't know if I should say this, than most other teachers at this point.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 days of school, when we found out that we were going to have to set up for a week, or no, 2 weeks plans, 10 days of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of my time helping, like, a lot of the people who are not familiar with it set up their Google Classrooms and set up their online webcasts and stuff like that. It really was really nice how everybody came together. I was really impressed how quickly everybody really, within 24 hours notice, was ready to not set foot back in their classroom again.
I think we have to mention this is Alder Avenue Middle School in Egg Harbor Township that we're
Absolutely,
talking about. But
absolutely.
we can say that about the whole district. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Let's get into some of the things that are going on with your distillery, because obviously it's hit you out of the clear blue sky, certainly, but it's affected breweries, it's affected distilleries, but it's affected distilleries in somewhat of a different way, because as you know, breweries were just given permission again to do the deliveries, the home deliveries, if you will. And yet that's something that distilleries are not allowed to do. What's your slant on that?
I'm not really sure what the reason for that. Why we are always the outcasts in the Jersey alcohol world. You look at wineries, they can have restaurants and wedding facilities. You look at breweries, are usually pretty in step with what our permissions are. And for a long time, we thought when breweries got the permission to deliver, we were going to be allowed to deliver. And we did do so for a while until we were told we had to stop. And then when they instituted breweries actually being able to deliver again, we thought that also covered distilleries. And It was only after reading the fine print that we realized we were not allowed to. I could not tell you why. That's a question for the ABC and the governor. But I just, to be honest, it's kind of been a godsend for us. If we were running deliveries right now, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing at the distillery.
And let's get into that, the things that you're doing, because you're doing some really wonderful things. And in all honesty, it's not just Little Water, but it's several distilleries, not only in New Jersey, but all over the country at this point. Tell us
There's
some
a
of the good
several
things you guys are doing.
Yeah, there's a good amount of distilleries in New Jersey that have taken the time to do it. Some have decided against it, that's definitely their choice. But I think for the most part, most distilleries are doing this. It's not only a opportunity to make up some of the lost revenue that we're facing, but it's also a great opportunity to serve the people in the community around us by producing hand sanitizer.
Mm.
The TTB, I don't really remember the day. All the days are running together right now. I think I'm about 80, 90 hours this week. And it just all goes together. They came through and said they dropped all the federal regulations that would go to hand sanitizer and sent out a recipe on how a distillery could turn their vodka or ethanol into a usable hand sanitizer. Now, there was a lot of confusion with that in the beginning because there was a certain distillery, I won't name, out on the West Coast. They were using their byproduct, which is methanol, and saying, oh, well, we're making hand sanitizer out of this stuff that we usually throw away. And that really raised some red flags with me because a lot of people kept asking me to do it. But if you go on this, the federal regulations for methanol, it says that if you get it on your hands, you should instantly wash it off because it's toxic. And that it shouldn't be used for anything like hand sanitizer.
Okay.
So we held off on that. That we weren't really the first ones in the pool because of that, because of the fear that it could come back to bite us if we're giving out a toxic source. So when the TTB came through and they said, yeah, now you can make it, here's the recipe, that uses our ethanol, which is for us, that's the base for our vodka. And we do our best to do donations. We donate every 2 days a week, 50 milliliter bottles for family size. But after the first weekend, and I feel like we went through about $1,500 worth of vodka that we had given away.
Yes.
We realized that since we were already down in revenue about 50% because our bar was closed because we were not allowed to do that we were not going to be able to be in business much longer if we kept giving it away. Because fun fact, we're actually, when we give away the hand sanitizer, it's our vodka, but at double strength. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting 4 ounces, we're actually giving you for free, 4 double shots of our vodka. Mm-hmm. In addition to the time, the container, and everything like that that's gone into making it. So we started, as you can imagine, the orders and the requests that have come in, we've done our best to fulfill them. Red Cross, New Jersey State Police, Atlantic City Police, Saginaw Township Police, Saginaw Township Schools, Forest Fire Service, Atlantic County, Camden County Office of Emergency Management, Cape May County Office of Emergency Management. And they're not looking for 5 bottles, they're looking for 1,000 bottles, 2,000 bottles, 10,000 bottles. And to do something like that, you're talking about a tanker truck, essentially, of vodka you would need. And that's for a small business like us, that's no small feat. So we made the decision to invest heavily in the short-term gain of making hand sanitizer. We secured more ethanol than we were able to produce because we were not going to be able to produce it to keep up with what we did. We got an actual tanker truck to come down and pump that in, and have spent the last week and a half. We have about 10 folks working over there right now, and they're just bottling about 3,000, 4,000 bottles a day.
And I know, as you and I talked a little bit earlier this week, you mentioned, even at the beginning of this broadcast, you're putting in extremely long days in doing this. Yeah. Because not only are you doing the hand sanitizer, but you are still in production of the line of spirits.
Yeah, I mean, today's a perfect example. We got here around 8 a.m. We'll be here till about 9 or 10 p.m. We'll be open to the public from 3 to 6. We bottled some spirits because we just have not. We stopped bottling spirits a week and a half ago. We converted only the bottling line over to just sanitizer.
Okay.
So we had to make sure we had enough for public opening today, enough free sanitizer. But then it's also the holiday, so I have folks putting together Easter baskets to sell and
Goodness.
bottles to sell so that people have stuff to come and purchase besides having, I think we have $500 or $600 bottles of free hand sanitizer we anticipate giving away this weekend.
Oh, really? Okay. And if you must be an Atlantic County resident, I mean, how does one
No, anybody,
anyone?
anybody, one per household. And then you always get folks who pull up with 5 folks and they all say they live in different houses, and that's okay.
Right.
But we do, yeah, will do that today from 3 to 6 and tomorrow, which would be Saturday, 12 to 6. And we're going to try to keep that going every weekend. As long as we're able to be financially secure that we can stay open, we'll give free hand sanitizer.
That is a valid point. Now, I know that there are not that many distilleries in the state of New Jersey, but I don't know the exact number. Do you off the top of your head?
I want to say it was 22, somewhere in the realm of like 21, 20, 22, 23 last time I checked, which was a couple months ago.
Has this? Good. I'm sorry.
Far fewer than craft breweries.
That is one point I was going to make, that in numbers, there's sometimes a strength. And when you're going back to dealing with the state, and, you could look at 100 and, I don't know, 40, 50 New Jersey breweries.
Yeah.
That could be one influence. I don't know. But the real question that I want to ask you is this crisis uniting distillers a bit more?
Yeah, I would say yes, in a way that, well, we've had a guild for a while. It's not really a formal, like the Brewers Association. So we don't have that kind of presence. But we work very closely with the folks at Trainwreck Distillery in up in Mount Holly. We're working really well with them, and Colts Neck Distillery, which is they make what's it? Mucklehen. I forget the name of off the top of my head. And we've been working with the two of them really closely, where the fact that either I'm there or they're here on a daily basis, swapping bottles and splitting tanks of ethanol, and I'll borrow this from you and I'll get it back from you tomorrow, kind of thing, so we all can keep production going.
Interesting. Okay, it's great to hear. And obviously each distillery, as you mentioned at the beginning, some distilleries have opted not to go into the sanitizer business for whatever reason, and we certainly respect them for that.
Absolutely.
But everyone's situation is different. You are in Atlantic City, and that brings a whole host of problems, if you will, but situations you have to deal with as opposed to other regions. You also talked about who your client base is, and you're really, I guess, the people who are the emergency caretakers, the givers, those, that's among your priorities to serve
so
police, fire.
It's been overwhelming. I left here last night. I don't even remember what time. And I think just on the drive home, I live about 15 minutes from the distillery, I had 3 new orders, and this is probably 10 at night. And it was their major companies, or not companies, offices of emergency management. They're looking for 800 bottles, 700 bottles, 1,000 bottles. So what we've done, and you could see it as either being fair or not really fair, is triage and kind of put orders of importance. So at the very bottom, we have public orders, which we haven't even started taking. I could sell probably 2,000 bottles of hand sanitizers tomorrow if we open to the public. But we just don't have that kind of volume and bottles right now to just sell, because we have these large departments coming in. So what we've done is we put those folks first. So everybody emails to one email account. When it comes in, we find out what it is. Is it a city? Is it a forest fire? Is it fire department, police department, troopers, parole officers, whatever it is? Because there's really so many different cities, towns, county sheriff's offices that really need it. They're out there every day. So we're trying to put those first. Then right behind that, we're putting anybody with essential workers, especially our customers. So our liquor stores that are open, we make sure we're giving them bottles to keep their workers safe. And then beyond that is your large corporations. They're probably about third right now. And we haven't even really gotten to a lot of those orders yet. We're still filling in priority of importance.
Have you had to put extra people on at the distillery to do this work?
Yeah. I currently have one full-time employee, which is James. our head distiller, and he is currently over there right now with 9 full-time assistants, who are folks who are out of work or volunteering from the casino industry and bar industry, who, you know, really just want to get out of the house and are more than happy to help.
What are the hours that people could stop by if they want to make a purchase of something? What are the hours that you're doing? Are they varying from week to week?
The last week to week, we're trying to change it to keep up. Right now, we have to be closed as much as possible, just because, like I said, we're doing, like today we have 2 shifts. I have a 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, and I have a 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. shift of where we'll change over the 10 folks who are over there and swap out, because rather than have people here for 12 hours. So being open to the public is really, as much as we want to sell bottles of alcohol, it's right now it kind of gets in the way.
Yeah.
So we're doing just right now, Friday 3 to 6, Saturday noon to 6. And then obviously when we open back up to the public, when this is all over, we go back to 4 days a week, you know, regular hours.
Along with all that you're doing at the distillery, are you still doing the social media and website updates, or is that someone else's domain now at this point?
No, I still have to do that. I just posted about Easter baskets about 5 minutes ago. We had the nice article by NJ.com yesterday, and then or last night. So I posted that this morning, and then we actually just had a nice large donation. We worked with some other distilleries in the area to the Red Cross. So we'll be that'll be the next up. But yeah, it's as much as I'd like to have my hands in the actual production right now, it's 90% of my day is tracking down bottles and lids, because the folks who make the bottles don't make the lids. Make sure they match. It's the equivalent of bottles right now, and of plastic bottles, which are not my forte. We don't sell anything in plastic. It's like trying to find toilet paper 2 weeks ago. I'm not even kidding. I had an order last night. Yesterday, it was 1 o'clock, and he says, "Guy, I have 90,000 bottles. It's going to be about $80,000." And that was a little more than what we wanted to spend, but the volume of what it was, okay. So I called the customer who would be taking a bulk of it, and they're like, "Well, can you just, you know, send me a sample like overnight?" I'm like, "The sample's not here. I can email you a picture." He goes, "Okay, email me a picture." He's like, "Yep, go for it." It was about 15 minutes later, those 90,000 bottles were already gone.
Oh, Lord, is that the case? Unbelievable.
And that's happened every day. I had 60,000 bottles on order this afternoon.
Yeah.
And right before I came over here to talk to you, I said, I gave them a credit card for deposit. And when I get back, I'll hope that nobody bought them in the meantime. But it's crazy out there right now for not only the basic ingredients, you know, because the sanitizer is made up of 4 things. Finding those ingredients, but also the bottle and the container to make them are gold right now.
Well, we are not going to take any more of your time, and we're so honored that you were able to break away for a few minutes. I guess
Please,
it's like a relief for you
break.
to get out, huh?
Oh no, it's a break. It's a break to get out and catch up with you. It's good to see you. You look great.
Well, I've stayed away from the razor. I'm doing that on purpose. This is my quarantine look, I think.
That's good. See, we had to do the opposite. We have a lot of folks who work for us. Like my brother, his beard was like down here, and putting the mask on over it, because we make them all when they come in. We try to be as responsive as we can. They get a new set of gloves, a new mask, and we take their temperature when they get in here and when they leave.
Oh, do you now, huh?
Yeah, just to be safe. And he actually, he's probably had his beard for I don't know how many years. He clean shaved it totally,
Really?
so his mask would fit.
Did you recognize him when he walked in? Clean shave?
Yeah, because he had his mask on.
Okay. Little Water Distillery. And the website is littlewaterdistillery.com. The address, correct me if I'm wrong, 807 Baltic Avenue in Atlantic City?
That's correct.
And if you want to email the company, info@littlewaterdistillery.com, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
Guys, Zompa, thank you for what you're doing. Certainly, I wish you and your family safety. How is your daughter, by the way? How's she doing?
She's adapting. You know, she likes
work?
being home, but it's a lot of work. I feel like my day is teaching my classes, teaching her class, and trying to find bottles. That's pretty much the last 10 days of my life.
So you're really working 3 jobs, 80 or 90 at the distillery, and then I guess do you sleep? I mean, I guess you do take a couple naps once in a while.
Not right now, man. Not right now. I dream about bottles.
Okay. Get back to the distillery. And again, guys, Zompa, thank you so much. Please give our love to Mark and everyone at the company.
I will. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for talking with us, and we'll see you next time. Who doesn't like the Flintstones? Well, I bet you've never seen Fred and Barney like this. Check this out.
When you're due for a beer, Bush does it. You can't say beer better than Bush.
Boy, ain't that the truth. How can they miss with that target advertising? Yabba-dabba-doo. Right on target, Fred. When you're due for a beer, Bush does it. Oh, there's a lot of Bush gonna be sold. Beginning right now. Fill her up, Fred. There it is, 5 o'clock, quitting time all over town. Yeah, the after-work rush will start now, and Claude isn't back yet. Here they come. I better get back there and help you, Fred. One Bush coming right up. You're next, sir. Keep pouring, Barney. Another Bush, bartender. Yeah, me too.
Boy, this sure hits a spot.
Hurry up, bartender. Coming. Another Bush, please. Here you are, sir.
Fill her up, bartender.
Yes, sir.
2 more here, please.
2 more Bush coming up. Gee, and we thought the gravel pit was hard work. My feet are killing me. Guy has to be in good condition to hold this job. Somehow I enjoy beer better on the other side of the bar. It takes know-how to work in the beer business. Yeah, and we got no know-how. Hey, Fred, look outside. Mr. Slate, and he's starting to come in. Hey, Barney, I just got an idea that may get our jobs back. Come on! Here, disguise yourself with these towels. I'll use this mop. Bartender, I want service. Coming. What kind of beer, sir? Any kind, you lunkhead, any kind. Ooh, you need a Bush. You're all tensed up. No wonder. My 2 key men quit me yesterday, and I can't get anyone to do the job like they can. Why don't you ask them to come back? Oh, they'd like that. They'd crow about it. Never. Drink your Bush, stranger. It'll do you good.
Calm down, Slate, honey. Give him another chance.
Hey, you're right. When you're due for a beer, this Bush does it. Would you help me get my men back, bartender?
Sure. What are their names? I'll get them back for you.
Their names are Fred Flintstone and Barney,
Rubble. Barney Rubble.
Yeah, that's right. Barney Rubble.
Well, we just happen to know them, and we'll guarantee that they'll be back on the job in the morning. If we can tell them that you'll give them a raise.
No, that's out. No raise, never.
Drink some more Bush, stranger, on the house.
Well, okay.
Be reasonable, Tiger. You can afford them.
Well, it's only money. Tell them that they'll get their raise. Good night.
Good night, sir. So long, stranger.
Good night, Fred and Barney. And don't be late in the morning.
How about that? Mr. Slate knew it was us all the time. Yeah, he missed us as much as we missed him. This calls for a celebration, Barney boy. Right, Fred? When you're due for a beer, Bush does it. You can't say beer better than Bush. Yabba-dabba-doo!